Hey, movie finders friends. I'm going to show you another Thai heist and thriller movie today. It's called Bad Genius, and it's based on a true story. At the beginning of the movie, a girl named Lynn is shown. She is one of the best students in her high school, and has been living with her dad her whole life. Her father eventually gets her into a new fancy school, but she doesn't want to go because it will cost a lot of money for the tuition and other costs. Lynn is smart, so the director gives her a scholarship to go to school there. While getting her ID pictures taken, she meets Grace, a nice girl who is having trouble in school. Since then, they've become good friends. The difference between her and Lynn is that she is not very smart, but she is pretty good at other things like playing in school plays. She tells Lynn that the school has a new rule in the library. For most people to pass, the grade must be around 3.062. Because of this, Grace tells her she will definitely fail the test. She asks Lynn to help her with the test because she knows Lynn is smart. Lynn finds out that the test questions were the same as the ones the teacher told her about in private tutoring meetings on the day of the test. She also looks at Grace and knows that Grace can't answer the questions right. She agrees to help her by writing the right answers on a rubber and giving it to Grace with her shoes. They almost get caught by the teacher, but Lynn manages to get away with it. Grace ends up with a 3.87 gigapascals, while Lynn ends up with a 4 gigapascals. To thank Lynn, Grace asks her to join the pool party where they can celebrate getting good grades. Lynn meets Pat, Grace's boyfriend there. Pat, on the other hand, is very rich. Grace tells him that Lynn was able to help his girlfriend do well on the test. She turned down his offer of a lot of money to help him and his friends cheat on another test. Lynn was hesitant at first, but she agrees when she learns that the school secretly took extra money from her father, who works as a teacher and makes a decent living. Soon, she comes up with a set of hand signs based on piano keys. Each pattern of keys that Lynn hits will stand for the letters A, B, C, and D. The others only need to remember the pattern, while Lynn sends test results with them. As a result, her customer base grows over time. She gets her dad a new shirt with the money she earned. Her father doesn't know about her secret because she tells him it's just piano lessons. Bank, who is also smart and in Lynn's class, has always been her competition. Because he comes from a poor family, the school also gives him a grant. He is not the same as Lynn in some way. He is very honest, and he doesn't let people cheat on tests. After that, he is put in a battle with Lynn, and the two of them win. The principal then calls them and tells them about a grant they can apply for that will let them go to college abroad. But there is only one slot, so they were competing from the start. Bank finds out that his mother owns a laundromat when he gets home. Afterward, he learns that the washer broke, and his mum has to wash the clothes by hand. The next day, another student named Tong comes up to him. He tells Bank that he missed school yesterday because he was sick. He then offers Bank some money to help him with the test, but Bank obviously turns it down. Bank sees Tong looking at Lynn's paper by mistake during the test. Then he sets out to warn her about how Tong is acting. Lynn, on the other hand, already knows because Tong is one of the people who wants to take her piano class. After that, Bank also tells the teacher about it as he turns in his answers in front of the class, but the teacher doesn't care because the test is split into Set A and Set B to stop cheating. Lynn, meanwhile, finishes her first test, which is Set A, while using hand signals to send replies to her friends at the same time. For some reason, she trades her paper with Tong's, which is Set B, while the teacher isn't looking. As the time runs out, she quickly answers all the questions on Set B. To her surprise, she still has time to tell her other friends the answers. When Bank tells the principal about the cheating before the test, she gets caught. This means that her dad is also called to the school. The headmaster tells her dad about what she's done before. The school takes away her funding as a punishment. She also responds to the principal by telling him that it wasn't really a grant because they had to pay for other things too. The principal is so mad at her that she takes away her chance to apply for a foreign college scholarship. Bank is now the only person who can automatically apply for the foreign scholarship. He feels bad about this because it takes Lynn's chance away. Her father is so mad at her when she gets home that he doesn't want to wear his new clothes again. He also tells her to give the money back to her friends. Finally, during the last school year, Grace asks her again to cheat. This time, it's not just any test, it's the STSC, a worldwide standardized test for college admissions. It will be proof that Pat's parents want her and Pat to go to Boston University if they pass the STSC test, Grace tells her. Show that they are allowed to go there and study. Lynn says no at first because the test is too hard, But she changes her mind when she learns that they can use the different time zones to their benefit. They come up with a great idea the next morning. Lynn can take the test in Australia where it starts 4 hours early. After the test, she can bring the answers back to Thailand and sell them to other students who want to take the test. She also tells them that most of the answers are in her head. She does need help with the rest of the answers though. For that reason, she needs someone smart enough to remember the answers, which in this case is Bank. She already knows that Bank will turn down the invitation because he doesn't like cheating. Bank is attacked in the street the night before his scholarship test, and the next morning he is thrown in a garbage dump. He doesn't take the exam because of this. Lynn knows this and goes to Bank's house to offer him the job. At first, he says no to her offer, but then he gives in because he needs the money so badly. Later that night, they study for the tests. There are plans for Lynn and Bank to both fly to Australia to get ahead on their tests. They will hide their cell phone in the bathroom during breaks so that they can call Grace and Pat with the information. Pat and Grace will print out the answers and barcodes on pencils in Thailand at the same time. After that, the pens will be given to their customers, who in this case are people taking the stick test. On the night before their flight, Pat does sneak out the fact that he told the bad guys to beat up Bank to get him to join their plan. Bank attacks Pat right away because he is furious. Pat then tries to say sorry, but Bank gets angry and leaves. Lynn is also shocked by the news, so she starts to think about what she did and chases Bank. He does, however, go back to Lynn and tell her to finish what she started, so they keep going with their plan. They finally get to Sydney in the end to take the test. They both finish their first sections of the test before the break, which gives them more time to study their replies. During the break, Bank tells Pat and Grace all of a sudden to raise his share so that he can send them his answers. At first, Pat doesn't want to do what Grace wants him to do, but she convinces him. He then gives Bank half of the money and says he'll send the other half after Bank sends the answers. Going back to Lynn and Bank, they finish their second parts without any problems, but they have trouble during their second break. Bank did something strange by staying in the toilet for too long during break time, which was noticed by the cop in charge. Lynn, on the other hand, sends her comments late because there is a queue in the women's toilet. So, the officer catches Bank red-handed, but Lynn gets away. She hides her phone on her boots, and then in a water spigot. After that, she moves on to the last part of her work without Bank, and she has to remember all the answers by herself. She uses a pencil to make herself throw up because she is running out of time, and then she tells the officer that she is sick. She leaves early because she wants to remember all the answers. At the same time, the police officer who caught Bank is also after her to see if they are linked, so she can send the answers on her cell phone while she is being chased. She also almost forgets to send the last set of answers when she runs into someone, but she manages to do it. After that, the police officer finally gets her and asks her to meet him to be questioned. Bank tells her to leave him while they are questioning her by saying he doesn't know her. Lynn is happy to see Pat and Grace when she gets back to Thailand. She also learns that their plan worked out great, but she turns against them and turns down her share of the money because of what happened in Sydney. They are still having fun with the other people who passed the stick test. Also, they let Lynn know that Bank took his share already, but she leaves the group chat right after that. Later, Bank calls her and asks her to come over to his house. It looks like he put some of his own money into helping his mom fix up her laundry business. After that, Bank tells her to start a new plan. He also tells her that this time it will be safer and have more customers. If she says no, Bank says he will tell everyone about the affair she was having. That is it, friends. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more videos.